Hello and welcome to a very sleepy Gregor Plays Games replay cast. Today I will be going over my point of view as a support Mirana. This was a pub played yesterday. I did not draft. I would not draft a support Mirana, but a support Mirana was picked, so I play it. Here I'm playing with my team support Mushu. Ignore this bit of shenanigans on Weaver. Not entirely sure what it ends up being.
Just enough time to make a cup of tea.
Drop a century, we don't get a kill. We were thrown off, Lifestealer wasn't with us. But during this game we're going to do our best to roam and create space for Lifestealer, Timber, and DK to farm. Although primarily for Lifestealer, DK and Timber will create space with us soon. So like earlier I said, I don't really like support Mirana, but I'm going to try and talk about the decisions that I make in this game to try and make the best of that situation. Obviously I got Arrow first because I was looking for a level 1, and I know that I have the Bane to set up. Starting build-wise, he got the Career and Observer Wards, so I was able to pick up Sentries and Smoke of Deceit. We're planning on using this to gank the Furion in the jungle and the Storm Spirit mid before he hits level 6. Because of the damage we got on Weaver, even though we didn't kill him, he had to walk back to base. So that gives our Lifestealer about 2 waves of CS completely uncontested. If we look at his CS, it is not as nice as it should be, but such is the pub life. Here I body block the camp because I know that their Crystal Maiden is trying to spawn, it's trying to stack, and I don't want that to happen. Drop a sentry and show Weaver that he's not welcome here. Right now our goal, because Weaver is favored in the Weaver versus Lifestealer matchup, our goal right now is to do our best to zone them, to give Lifestealer a level or 2 levels and a bunch of CS on top of the Weaver so that we can roam, and that when we do roam, our Lifestealer will be ahead. Enough to stay ahead. I trade some hits with this CM. I know that she can't continue to trade because I have backup. Since there are also 3 of us and 2 of them, trading region is fine with me. I pick up a stick here. Magic Stick is an incredibly cost-effective item, especially for supports and especially in Tri-v-Tris or Tri-v-Duels like this. There's just a lot of spells going to be thrown out, and that means a lot of health and a lot of mana you can get. So around now we realize that we should rotate to kill Storm. He's level 4, so we want to kill him fast. We're going to try and go in Crystal Maiden here though. I back up to try and get a long range arrow, and I do hit the arrow, but then after that we're not able to do enough damage on her. Weaver comes around, he starts doing the damage. Lifestealer comes back from CSing.
Tower gonna fall over soon.
We do get Weaver with the tail end of our dust, but by that point it's too late. I'm looking for an arrow, but ultimately we have to back up. I think this favors them. As the tri-lane, it's sort of our job to be getting kills, and if we don't get kills or we're not zoning heavily, then we lose. Fortunately, we are zoning very heavily, in that the Weaver has 5 CS, whereas our Lifestealer has 20. So we're doing a good job in that regard. Weaver's also level 2.5, Lifestealer's a whole level above him. We've rotated mid. We're looking for our kill here. Looking for Bane to Nightmare. Bane does Nightmare. I shoot an arrow, we land the arrow on top, and start right-clicking. Then DK follows up with a Breathe Fire, and it's an easy First Blood.
First blood.
My 3-year-old can do this.
At this point, we know that Furion needs to be ganked, but we don't know where he is, so we would like to roam the jungle, and I believe that's what we do. But unknown to us, there's an observer ward right there. Furion can tell. Seeing that rotation, Storm Spirit TP's top, and while we're waiting here, waiting for Bane to clarity up to have Nightmare
Bad
mana,
dudes, middle tower, everyone, go,
they're
now!
grouping up in anticipation. We're standing on top of a sentry, but the sentry can't see us right now, because sentries don't have vision of their own, only true sight.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
We, however, do know that there's a ward because of how passive they started playing, so Mushu brings some sentries out to him. Right now, we're fairly content with how this lane is going, because obviously our Lifestealer is getting free farm and the Weaver is not getting any farm. However, we're kind of worried about Nature's Prophet. He's getting jungle farm, and we should be punishing him for that. So I decide to max arrow. Because of the Bane, I know that most of what I'm good for is going to be the disable. We take a moment here, clean the bugs off of us, get some gold, take some damage. I end up hitting the Weaver anyway, and we try and work on him, but he managed to scoochie out. And then we try and back up, trying to hit the sentry as we go. Furion is something of a problem, but I know that I have leap, so I'm not super worried.
Missing middle.
I'm thinking about trying to get an arrow here, but the Furion treants are making that really hard. So I back up and south. Meanwhile, I pick up observer wards. We've decided, I think we decided that he was playing the 5 role, but they were on cooldown, so I picked up some mobs. We got very lucky in that their Crystal Maiden placed an observer ward right on top of a sentry we already had, so that was an easy D-ward for us. If we had known about the storm, I think we would have, this Nature's Prophet, we should have done a better job ganking him. Better job than we did.
Missing middle.
I think now we decide to go on a furry gank. I personally like to leave a single small creep in a camp when we're in the enemy jungle, but it's not always feasible. So we check this camp, and we go around and check this camp,
Dire structures
and
are
we don't see him.
fortified.
So we wrap around
Dire's
that
middle
way,
tower is under attack.
and eventually we get him.
Ding-dong.
Easy Nightmare, I wait a bit, and we get the arrow, and
Bad
it's an
dudes, middle
easy
tower,
kill.
everyone, go, now!
With that kill, we're going to rotate back in. You know that Sam is dewarding. I drop another sentry because I realized that she placed an observer as well. And because of that, with 2 sentries, we have dewarded 2 sentries and an observer from them. No, 2 sentries and 2 observers. That means that we have spent 200 gold, and they have spent 500 gold. Not to mention that we've gotten 100 gold back. So really that's a 100 for 500 gold trade. That's pretty favorable. I TP mid in an attempt to save Dragon Knight, but I'm way too late, and I end up not being very useful.
Dire's
Clock
middle
denies the
tower
tower,
has
so I
been
say
denied.
I'm going to sit here for a bit and farm up middle. At least for experience until Dragon Knight respawns.
Dire's bottom tower
So
is
skill
under
build
attack.
wise, I decided to not get any points in Starstorm in this game. That may have been a mistake, but I wanted to try it out since I was playing support Mirana. My thinking was that Starstorm is a magic nuke, which is going to fall off inherently, because it's, you know, single damage, because the damage doesn't scale. I knew that I was going to max arrow, because we needed the disable, so I thought, what's the point in later levels of arrow? Later levels of Starstorm. We end up trying to go, but then there are too many of them, and we just back out. We bit off more than we can chew. So we're going to try and back up and push the tower with Lifestealer instead. So the other question, if I'm not getting points in Starstorm, is do I get leap or stats? And what I decided to do was to get points in stats after 2 points in leap. And then a bit later I went back to finish leap. I don't know if this is the best idea, but let's give it a try. I thought I would see how it goes.
Illusion.
Basically, points in leap, the cooldown for leap does go down. It does go down a fair bit, 30 to 18. And the distance changes and the movement speed bonus changes. So it scales pretty nicely. But stats gives me more mana, which means more arrows. It gives me more health, which means more staying alive. And, well, that's primarily it. We're going to try and go on Storm or Weaver here. We have a bit of a miscommunication as to who we're going for, and that kind of fucks us over. Dragon Knight is here too, and we could have communicated with him better.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Because of some general confusion and misplay, I missed my arrow, but then do manage to kill off Storm. So ultimately that wasn't the worst, but it could have been a whole lot better.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. We're detecting high levels of sarcasity, Captain.
So that's where this Weaver went. We weren't terribly sure, but he was far enough away that it wasn't worth our time to try and chase. Clockwork sitting mid, throwing his flares, being a general nuisance, but we know that we can get him if he gets caught out. Unfortunately, that does not happen. Meanwhile, Lifestealer gets a nice kill on Furion. We're going to try and gank Weaver again this time. I call that Bane should pick up the haste rune, and we try and go in. Unfortunately, Weaver managed to scooch you away just in time. And Bane does not cast the Weaver.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
We notice a bunch of shenanigans is happening up top, so we call that we're going to take this
That bottom
tower.
tower you bad dudes had was crap anyway, don't sweat it.
We've got the DK ult, and we can do some pretty serious damage to the tower. I believe my item choice here is to get mana boots. While I haven't had crazy mana problems yet, I know that once fighting breaks out, I'm going to want to be able to use lots of arrows, and not to mention that it helps my team a fair deal to have mana
Dire's
boots.
bottom tower is under attack.
Dragon Knight has that maxed Dragon's Blood, so he's doing some creep skipping.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
However, with our creep whip dying and no creeps reinforcements for a while, we are going to have to back up here. Storm zips in and zips out. Bit of indecision from him. And then I turn in and turn out. Bit of indecision from me.
Radiant structures are
I TP top.
fortified.
I'm trying to get up, kill up here, but I launch an arrow and it misses. None of them decide to go that way. But we kept the tower alive, kept our lifestealer alive, and we took a tower bottom and did a fair deal of damage to the tier 2. So on the whole, it was a fairly successful trade. I pick up my magic wand here after ulting to try and save DK. Unfortunately, it's not enough because they have sentries and rocket flare. I call that we should try and take this tower because we know, again, we know that a bunch of them are bottom. So they're either going to have to rotate, visibly TPing and giving us a chance to arrow them, or they're going to give up the tower for free.
That's a two.
Turns out that the latter is the case.
Under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
With that gold, I'm only 100 away from my mana boots.
Got in Himmer!
I'm rotating middle to try and see if I can be useful. I also know that I want to get some aggressive wards up at some point because they have a Furion that likes to jungle, and I don't like to let their Furion jungle for obvious reasons. So I get a ward here. This will help see if they're rotating. It's just a general ward that sees a lot of this area. It's better when they have a tier 1 to worry about. But it's still fairly decent. Notice the lifestealer doing using a CM. I shoot in a Yulo arrow on a Furion. Bane and I decide to get the kill up on Furion. Arrow on Mirana is interesting. It's not honestly something that I'm very great at. Most of my arrows are set up by Bane and not due to any of my skill. But I do my best. In general, I find that I'm fairly decent with the timing abilities, but not as great with the movement prediction abilities, such as Hook or Arrow. Call out that there's a Weaver on top of us, but we're kind of split up. I arrow the Weaver, and with that we can burst him down quite easily. Pop my ult in the team fight because I'm not sure what's going to happen, and I want people to have the ability to escape if they need to. I start plinking off the CM because I know that there's not a lot of damage that can come to me, and then I arrow on the Furion to make sure that he can't turn around, and then we can kill him nicely. Here I'm fairly low, but I don't quite want to leave the fight because I know that they're all low and I want to contribute. And I know that I have arrow in 2 seconds, so I'm looking around, seeing if I can arrow the clock. Unfortunately, I miss just barely. I try to leap over Weaver's head, but it's not enough. And I get picked up to the Weaver. That was definitely a poor decision for me. I could have gone to the north, I could have gone down, I could have gone any number of ways, and I would have been fine.
I die with honor.
However, I should be able to pick up mana boots now.
Yo, green dudes, something bad is happening. In your bottom.
As you can see, I finished maxing Sacred Arrow, and then left Leap at 2 points, and after getting my ulti up and getting stat levels. I think if I were to do this again, I might finish Leap first, for the attack speed bonus and movement speed bonus to my team.
Yo, green dudes, something bad is happening.
But I think not getting a Star Storm may have been the right choice. Since I knew that I would be fairly underleveled, right now it would be like I would have like 2 points in it. That doesn't seem terribly relevant. I get my mana boots, move them to my boots hotkey, and I'm ready to go. Here I get a bit
Yo, green dudes,
antsy, if you will, and commit probably further than I should. Although, to be fair, I also know that I can always Moonlight Shadow if I need.
Over here now.
Check their inventories and I see
Green Dude's
no
top
detection.
thing is about to get knocked
So I make
over.
sure to weave and bob in case the CM had another Crystal Nova, which she didn't.
Green Dude's tower got
I still
on,
wanted to be
son.
safe. Here I try for one more arrow on Furion, but unfortunately I am off. I'm baiting this Furion here because I want him to think that he can kill me and let Life Stealer come in, but he can kill me, and it doesn't matter that the Life Stealer's coming in.
Is about to get knocked over.
I should have just backed immediately there.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Man,
Fortunately, my team has a
Dire's
fairly big
bottom
lead
tower is under attack.
and a competent timber saw, at least somewhat, so we clean up.
Lie fallow in your grave.
Nerf this man. That's a two-for.
Respawn and I TP into mid lane so that I can assist. Oh, I thought that arrow... I didn't realize that arrow went through the creep.
Tower is under attack. Oh, boost! Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Timber gets some pretty sweet kills. Weaver's not very happy. My next item at this point is going to be a mechanism. It's a little late for a mech, but since none of my team has it, and I have the mana to pull to support it because of my mana boots, it seems like the perfect choice. Here I'm trying to position off to the side such that I can get a long range arrow. I don't know why it takes me so long to react to clock,
It's full of
but
stars.
eventually we burst him down.
Much better.
As the team fight starts to break out here. DK is very low, which is unfortunate, but I try and stay on the side. I know I land an arrow off of the Bane Sleep, so I clean up Weaver. I pop my ult because I see that some of us are getting low and I want us to try and be able to escape.
Bad dudes, middle tower.
Unfortunately,
Everyone, go,
that's not an option for
That's a
Timber.
twofer. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Over here now.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
And I'm easily cleaned up. I tried an arrow to give me some time, but there were too many of them. It wasn't going to work. Fortunately, Timber's back up already,
Looking for me?
thanks to that huge bloodstone. You can see I have the headdress and the buckler finished, so I'm only 700 away, or 600 now, from finishing my mech. Curious if Timber dies here or not. Looks like he shouldn't. Anyway, I respawn. I'm AFK for a little bit, it seems, and then I start walking back to mid. There's a lot of brawling going on this game, which I suppose suits a support Mirana. However, I am dying a fair deal, which is not ideal. Pick up some sentries because against a Weaver that's super important, and it's also good for dewarding. We have Bane in there scouting out the Furion. We'll land an arrow on him and go to town.
Weak as a sapling.
Now your nightmare lasts forever.
Bane Mirana combo is still very
Yo,
strong,
Green
even
Dudes,
if a
something
support
bad is
Mirana
happening. in your bottom.
I think a support Mirana does not.
I could have hit Roshan with my
It's not the best
eyes
role for
closed.
Mirana. I think it's a waste of.
Radiant structures
A lot of
are
her.
fortified.
It's a waste of her Starstorm to not have the levels to get that at an early point. I think she's just much better
Radiant's
farming.
bottom tower has
And I
fallen.
think she's just not the best support. I think there are supports that do more with less.
Roche is just a chill dude, so someone explain to me why Radiant had to go and kill him.
But the upside of a support Mirana is obviously this 5-second high nuke stun, which, with a Bane Sleep, is fairly reliable. Also, the ulti is a improved Smoke of Deceit.
Autumn comes too soon.
Dust catch the Weaver. The Weaver uses his time lapse, and we get an easy grip on him. Here I don't want to arrow in because there are treants everywhere, and another lifestealer, but another lifestealer has Aegis, so we'll be okay.
You make a
Ownage!
Timbersaw cleans up that Crystal Maiden. No ulting for her. I've got my mechanism on the way, or purchased. I'll bring it to me as soon as I can.
I'm over here.
Some miscommunication lets the Storm Spirit live. I think if the
Bad dudes,
Nightmare,
middle tower,
I saw that the
everyone
Nightmare
go,
was
go.
there, so I waited on arrow. But if we had went directly from arrow and from DK stun into arrow, I think we would have been more successful. But it doesn't matter a whole lot.
Ownage!
I shoot an arrow to try and help kill Secure on the Furion. It's not at all necessary.
Rotro, bad dudes, Rotro, middly widdly go.
I'm gonna take
Your
our first
green
step,
dudes.
Rex.
Something bad is happening.
Quite sure what
In your
Lifestealer was
bottom,
doing there.
Dire's
I
middle
didn't notice
barracks
that.
are under attack.
Oh well.
Here I am.
Here I want to contribute, but I'm also fairly low, so I decided to miss an arrow.
I do not care.
That's like helping.
another put down.
Zip-zap. I join. Too much.
Mushu's calling to me that he needs mana, so I use mana boots on him in a moment. If I was a more baller player here, I would have been able to snipe the Furion, but alas, I am not. But it's not even necessary. Brain Sap takes care of that.
Suffer in the womb of Nikitasha.
Now I start to go on CM. She's very low. Mushu does the smart thing back up, but I want the CM dead. She looked at me funny or something, so I commit.
Got in Himmer!
I die, but I killed CM, so it doesn't matter. If this were a more serious game, I probably would not have dove. But I knew that we were very far in the lead. I knew that the stakes weren't very high because it was a pub game. I really wanted to kill her. It's just so satisfying. So now I decided to go for a Yules. My primary reasoning for going for Yules is so that I can practice the Yules into Sacred Arrow timing. Like I said, this game is fairly won, in my opinion. Obviously, they do have a profit split push, which could be scary. But he's got a Midas and an Mithril Hammer. That's not a lot. Now they're getting a mech. Probably 5-10 minutes after I hide my mech. So we've had the mech advantage for a while in addition to our other advantages. And our Timber is just balling out of control, as Timber is wont to do. So I respawn, decide to walk in, because I don't think TPing will get me there. We'll get any kills or save any lives. And having TP off of cooldown is pretty helpful. I'm about 700 away from mules because we've been getting so many kills in towers. I have pretty good
Going
gold.
from bad to worse, now the bad dude's middle racks is getting shafted. Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
We're taking easy racks.
Hey, bad dudes, your middle Rex is like chopped liver. Forget about it.
I make extra sure Storm gets blown up. Kill secure on him. I make extra sure to attack the Weaver bugs. If they stay on us for very long, their minus armor will add up and be quite a problem. As it is, they keep jumping into us and forgetting that we have instant stuns. Drop an arrow, and once again it misses.
Dire's bottom tower is under
I
attack.
had no setup and I'm bad at arrows.
Bad dudes,
I'm
middle
almost
tower.
level 16.
Everyone, go now.
Which means Moonlight Shadow doesn't scale terribly well, but level 3 ult is nice. I'd tell Dragon Knight that he should probably get out of there.
Whoa, what'd I miss?
I leap in, I mech,
Radiant's top
I ult
tower
to
is
try and
under
get him out.
attack. Dire's bottom tower
Seems
is under
like it
attack.
is, but it's successful. I did not realize that.
Green dude's top thing is about to get knocked
right,
over.
Yule's the storm.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
That's the one going on Bane.
This is totally harshing my mellow.
Drop an arrow and it hits clock.
Radiant's
Dead in the
top
face.
tower is under attack. Hey, forget about it. Got in Himmel.
The rest of my team starts to duel the storm up there.
I'm over here.
But I see this Weaver, and I want this Weaver
Dire's
dead.
bottom tower is under attack.
So I get into some silly shenanigans here with Weaver.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
I know that I have mech
Dire's
soon.
bottom barracks are under
I
attack.
have arrow and I have teammates, so I'm fairly sure that I can win this. I try and Yule's into arrow on him, but I miss.
Dire's bottom
And
barracks
I
has fallen. Dire's
end up,
bottom barracks are under attack.
end up using myself. So we go on a wild goose chase here. Chasing the wild geese all day long. Weaver loops around, and we are sufficiently
Dire's
juked.
bottom barracks has
So we
fallen.
forget about him and take some other kills. I Eagles again, I try an arrow, and I'm just a second too late. If that was a hero, any hero other than Storm Spirit, that would have been a pretty easy kill, but it was not. Or it was a Storm Spirit, I should say.
Green dude's top thing is about to get knocked over.
And I
Man,
die to a clock hook.
that's a twofer.
But this game is fairly over.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Here I am. Over here now.
Storm likes the zip zap zooping, that's for sure. I pick up an arrow gem here because
Dire's
tired
middle
of
tower is
Weaver
under
shenanigans.
Not obsolete quite, and it's off.
Bad dudes, middle tower, everyone go to humanity!
So now that this game is basically over, I'm going to talk for a bit about these
Bad
videos.
dudes, Rotro, Middly Widdly.
My first video obviously sucked. This video also sucks. But my goal, my hope, is that this video sucks a little less. I'm very tired coming down with the fever, so it may be that this video sucks more. But if you are watching to this point in the video, first of all, thank you. Second of all, I would love any criticism. Obviously, constructive criticism is preferred. I want to get better at this. I want to be more educational, more informative. I suppose that's the same as educational. More entertaining. All those such things. I did not have vision there of the Furion, and wildly miss an arrow, guessing where he's going. And I'm also stuck in the trees, but I have leap again in 7 seconds. The main things that I got as feedback from last video that I've tried to correct in this video is audio levels. I am playing music in the background, but it's quiet, it's classical. Hopefully it's non-intrusive.
I am compelled
I'm also
to thank you.
I also increased my audio, my voice sound, my voice audio levels, decreased game sounds in the hope that I am able to be heard more, and the announcer is less obnoxious.
Dire's top tower
And I'm
is
working
under attack.
on saying fewer ums and uhs, although that is habit and will take me a while to break, if I ever manage to.
There it goes.
The Fiend's grip range is
Enough this match.
ridiculous.
Dire's top tower
It's not
is
even that
under
long,
attack.
but
Hey, you
because
guys,
of Weaver's,
doing some great work. Forget about
I guess the Bane casted on Weaver,
Bad Dude's top
as he was
tower's
running
on
away.
follow. Bad Dude's top is all nasty and
and
breaky.
because the cast animation, that's why it appeared to be cast so far away. Lifestealer goes in, goes pretty ham,
He is
gets
the
a kill.
chosen one.
I throw some arrows in, game was good. I also prefer to do team games for these types of videos,
Dire structures are
but there weren't
fortified.
any team games that I felt were close
Dire's
or with a
middle
new and
tower
interesting
is under
hero.
attack.
So I'm interested for feedback as to if people mind multiple videos of the same hero. I imagine that would get fairly boring. I also am curious, do
Dire's
people
top barracks
want
has fallen.
pub games as opposed to
Bad
team
Dude's middle
games?
tower,
To me, team
everyone
games
go.
are much more
Dire's
impressive
middle tower has fallen.
and
Bad Dude's Rax is now officially the Radiant now
much more
have mega
interesting.
creeps.
But hopefully this game, even if not a team game, was somewhat helpful.
Dire's Ancient needs rescuing.
Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. As always, my contact info is in the description. And thank you. This has been a Gregor Plays Games replay cast.